It has been a while since I've done a video for this channel. And it's not lack of interest or anything like that. If you remember, this channel had begun with the beginning of my master's study in history. And I've actually completed that. I've received my master's degree in history. And I have accepted a post as a history professor at a Texas university, which I'm enjoying immensely. So with COVID and everything going on, you can imagine a lot of my classes are exclusively online this semester. So a lot of my videos are for my students. So this is a textbook we're using, and I have a couple of lectures that were pretty dynamic, especially some of the ones that dealt with Africa. And the reason why I didn't post them on here is because, with the video chat, some of the students pop up as they begin to ask questions or dialogue. And out of respect to them, I don't want to use anyone, to promote my channel without them knowing it or without their consent, or just division of church and state. But I heard a very intelligent statement. I do not remember who said it, but it was a conversation about how so many people, not just black people, but people, talk about how they love Dr. Martin Luther King. White people, black people, Americans, non-Americans. And I can't remember who said this, but they said, how many books of his have you read? All of these people that loved what he said, and they loved his ideologies and his, the things that his principles. Very few people have read his words from him. So really, you don't love Martin Luther King or his principles. You love what someone told you about Martin Luther King, particularly white people in America. Now, this is not to be a black and white, as much as it can't be, racial conversation. But the bottom line is, if the books are published in the United States and the issue is with the United States, his issue is with the United States, there's only so far that we can talk, we can go with that. And I think 95% of the publishing and promotion executive jobs in our country, I think it's over 95%, is white people. Then that's something that you have to take into consideration. But for the closest that we can get, because obviously 9 times out of 10, his books are published, through white people. But that is the closest we're going to be able to get, other than hearing him speak, getting into the mind of what his principles really were. And if you have not taken the time, my question is why? I had a conversation with someone who was telling me about they feel that the Bible is the word of God, not even Jesus, God. Now, I haven't read the Bible six or 7 times by that time. And I was like, okay, now I've read it. So now I need to know why you said that. Why is the Bible the word of God? I'm not saying it's not, but why did you say that? Tell me why you said it. So I said, okay, what part? Tell me what part of the Bible makes you think God wrote that? You know, I've seen some wonderful writings, but, you know, something that I would attribute to the creator of the universe, I need to know what part that was that hit you, that in such a way that you believe that the creator of all things was the author of that. And their answer was, well, I haven't read the Bible. I've read stuff in it, but I haven't read the whole thing cover to cover. I said, wait a minute. The Word of God, the grand architect of the universe, gave you a book based how you said your thinking is, gave you a book, and you didn't take the time to read it. That's odd to me. Now I can see if you didn't think God was the author of this book, and he only wrote one book. If there's any book you should read, it should be the book that God wrote if you believe in God. Well, this is not to call Martin Luther King Jr. God, but I do hear a lot of people refer to him as a prophet, as a anointed man, as a wise man. Why would you not read a book of somebody that you have recognized as one of the greatest people that ever lived? Why would you not read the book or study the principles of a person that every year many people are saying that use him as a reason as to why Black people must participate in certain things? People died so you could vote. So why is it you haven't taken the time to find out what it is he has to say? He has another book, Why We Can't Wait. But in particular, we're going to do where do we go from here? Chaos or Community. This was in 1967, and this is going to be a series of videos because I really want to get into the weeds of this book. I don't want to brush across the top of it because this book is definitely something for everyone to read, but specifically for Black people to read. Given our culture and our community as it stands now, the state of policing, the state of Black people being killed by the police, and people caring for a while, but or at the moment, how do we get to this? How do we get to this? And how did one of the greatest minds attack this? And I actually found that there is a lot I disagree with Martin Luther King on, but I would not know to disagree with him but for his work. So that's why his work is good. I was very judgmental when it came to the successes and failures of the civil rights movement. In my opinion, to some extent still, the civil rights movement was pacified by a restatement of the Reconstruction Amendments, 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment. Say the same thing. Read them. 13th Amendment says you were free. 14th Amendment said you had equal protection under law. 15th Amendment said you had the right to vote. Why do we need a civil rights bill in 64? Why do we need a voting rights bill in 65? It said the same thing. If they didn't follow the first ones, why would they follow these? And as we see, they haven't. Or in 2020, we wouldn't be saying, hey, please stop shooting us. But the key is not in being right or wrong, but in being informed. So what we're going to do is we're going to go chapter by chapter, page by page, get into the weeds of this book. Now, we're not going to go literally page by page. See, I don't know if I've done this on here or not. I had a lot of notes and margin notes and all of that. So we're going to hit high points that I think, and hopefully it'll make you go into the book. So I wanted to do a video to let everybody know where this is going, and that we're probably going to be back for a bit, coming in between semesters, so I will have time. And we will also do Dr. King's book after this, and another book as well, because once I'm working on several pieces of research. I'm still looking to enter the PhD program. I finished my writing, the writing sample that I'm going to submit. It's about 100 pages, 80 loosely. That research brought me into Frederick Douglass. And we are going to also do a book review on Frederick Douglass, Prophet of Freedom, David Blight. Excellent book. We're not going to go as deep in the weeds as we are on where do we go from here, even though this is a much thicker book where we really could get into the weeds. I'm going to really just kind of do a 15-minute deal on that one, but I am going to draw some alignments between Douglass and King, especially in the area of moral suasion. We'll also get into this book right here, Dark Bargain, Slavery, Profits, and the Struggle for Our Constitution. I really want to get into that one. I think it'll be surprising, but this is the first video for where do we go from here. Get this book, have this book. This is the book we need to teach out of. This is the why, not the what. We spend too much time on the civil rights movement and Dr. King about what they did. Why did you do it? Why did you continue to do it? That's where we're going to go. So stay tuned and make sure you comment, and we can kind of go back and forth. I will dedicate some videos, if needed, to the comments. I don't want just to be a one-way communication, but hopefully this will be the beginning of our videos through the PhD study.